Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode 250. That's real confetti.
That's real. That's not a Zoom filter.
Shots fired in the Thoughtium office. Welcome to 250 of Navigating Now. This is episode 250, a huge milestone. We clearly did not test the poppers before. I think they're commercial grade. I don't think they're consumer grade poppers, but what an incredible milestone. What an amazing start to this episode 250. For the last 250 episodes, almost 9 years, we have brought content to you on a week-to-week basis that really gets at the heart of leadership topics from leaders that matter most. And we're just thrilled to pause and celebrate this milestone today with you all, our community. We want to thank those folks who join us live at thoughtteam.com/live. Those folks who join us in feed, particularly our LinkedIn community. Every week, our community grows and grows, and those folks that stop by, learn a thing or two, maybe get a % or two better from this content. We thank you, and we welcome you to today's episode. I'm here with my co-founder, Norm Ralph. He's got a little bit of confetti in his hair. That is not CGI or AI at all. And we're going to be spending the next 20 or 30 minutes really elevating and bringing forward some of the most unique and impactful moments of the last 9 years at Thoughtium. So we're not only celebrating 250 episodes here at Navigating Now, but we are also celebrating our 9th anniversary in business. And, you know, from day one, the vision was to both build the business and tell the story while we're building it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really fitting, Norm, that you kind of kick us off in celebrating some of the moments that have made the last 9 years so formative for us and hopefully valuable to you all, our community. So we're going to be kind of counting down the top 9 moments by way of some really unique quotes from leaders that have been at the table and added value over the course of the last 9 years. And we start with a great quote from none other than Tim Jones. This was episode 186. This was back in April or May of 2020. And we all know at that time we were dealing with the world shifting on axis, if you will, and our business communities really trying to figure it out. And the quote that Tim brought to us in the throes of such change in the pandemic is he said, "Hey, 2020 put a check engine light on everybody's forehead." And I mean, if you ever can go to somebody for some unique quotes, it's Tim Jones.
No doubt.
Norm, tell us a little bit about this quote and what it meant to us back in 2020.
Yeah, Tim's one of those guys. He's always going to have something that comes forward that sticks. And his energy, his charisma, and he's such a great leader. This one in particular is so timely. As I think about that time, it was so disruptive for all of us. And for the first time, whether you talk about yourself as a leader or even just as an individual, you were trying to find your footing. Like you didn't have the answers. And it just required a different way to lead. And so what it did was it created a lot of transparency. It required a more human-centered way for your leadership to show up. And we started talking about things like the transparency of what was happening at home. What it meant for our business, what it meant for us as individuals. And that check engine light, I think, again, just required a different type of leading. It wasn't functional leadership.
Yeah.
It wasn't the more traditional top down. It was like, what does it mean for us to come together, to create space, to have to do that potentially virtually, and for us to really come together. And so I think in so many ways that check engine light was a disruption that all of us leaders needed, which was there's going to be a different way to lead going forward.
Yeah. And it really illuminated our leadership styles in so many ways. Some would say maybe even exposed our leadership styles. I know, personally, I learned a lot in terms of leading continuity through such times of change. And I know you did, Norm, too. And Tim's kind of comment about how everybody had this check engine light really shining forward was just such a moment for us in Navigating Now history. So Norm, will you stay here for a moment as we maybe pop one more thing here? We've got a bottle of bubbly. This is also not AI generated, and hopefully it's not going to be as loud as those poppers at the beginning, but we'll celebrate with a little champagne, Norm.
See how this goes.
All right, there you go. Successful pop, Norm. I got to say, you have been not just an incredible leader here at Thoughttium, you've also just been an amazing friend and confidant to so many people here. And I know that when we started talking about, you joining Thoughttium, a big part of that was that we were really dead set on doing the things that we really wanted to do in our previous large organizations, but maybe we just didn't have the autonomy. Maybe there was too much red tape, and telling the story live every week was just an example of that. So thank you for your trust in this being a big part of how we've built Thoughttium. Thank you for your leadership. The team thanks you. You're just such an incredible presence amongst this amazing growing team, and you've been a big part of Navigating Now. So thank you, brother.
Appreciate that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
250. Happy 250. Okay. So Norm, thank you so much. We're going to keep rolling here as I pour another glass or two of champagne for our next guests. And we're celebrating 250 episodes here at Navigating Now. We, over the years, have brought in some just incredible personalities for Navigating Now, and a few that are really local to what we call our 6-block radius. And we're going to share just one of the most incredible quotes of Navigating Now from one of the more surprising leaders we've had at the table. But to do that, we want to bring in Miss Molly Sutherland. Molly is our head of creative here at Thoughttium. Molly, how are you? Welcome to the table. And I'm sorry you were not a part of the pops that happened at the very beginning of this episode.
It was definitely a joy though to watch from afar. I'm a big part of the back end of Navigating Now, so I knew the planning process of this episode, but it is always fun to see what actually happens live.
I love it. And Molly, what are you toasting with today?
I have my champagne of beers,
if
you will.
The actual champagne of beers, which is
the actual champagne of beers.
It's so on brand for you. You bring such a blend of style and authenticity, particularly to everything that we do here at Thoughttium as the head of creative. You have been a part of really bringing to life this story in different mediums, whether it's through our client work or the way that we put together proposals for new clients, the way that we organize our information on the website. I mean, you've just been the face of what we do and kind of engineering that. And I think this next quote that we're going to celebrate as part of our 250th episode, I just think you're perfect to unpack it. And this comes from none other than Jim Graziano. He is the founder and owner of JP Graziano's here in Chicago. Actually, he's not the founder. He's 4th generation owner of JP Graziano's. And, his style of business, or his business itself, couldn't be more different than our business here at Thoughttium. He sells sandwiches all day, every day, some of the best sandwiches in Chicago. And we really enable leaders and people with coaching, consulting, and learning and development. You literally couldn't get 2 different businesses, but our language is so the same. What he's trying to create at JP Graziano's and what we're trying to build here at Thoughttium really, really have some interesting similarities. So his quote, and Molly, I want you to unpack this because I think it's perfect for you. If somebody is stealing customers from you, that probably means that you're not doing your job right. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you motivated. So Molly, I'll just hand it over to you. Like, what pops out at you with this quote, and maybe how are you thinking about it as it pertains to how we're building Thoughttium through great creative?
Yeah, I love this quote so much. I remember when this episode was happening, it was early on in my Thoughttium days. This was one of our special live episodes. So you're sitting in JPG's with Jim himself.
Yes.
And to your point, like this quote really hits at that idea of, you have to deliver on what you're promising. Like if you are saying I'm making great sandwiches, like you got to make great sandwiches, right? Like your customers can sniff that out. They're going to take one bite. And what I absolutely love about that is like, we feel that in our business too. If we're saying like, we're providing great experiences, like we have to provide those great experiences. We have to be able to stand up and like really walk the walk. And from a creative standpoint, I love this so much. I think a lot of times people think like, oh, you make it look good and it's going to pass. And it's like, that doesn't work, right? Like you really need the meat behind it. It's more than just like, is this what someone wants to see, but really, is this what they want to hear, what they need to hear, what they need to experience? And I think why I love this quote so much is it really speaks to, I think, how we think about creative at Thatium, which is it's so embedded in our work, in our everyday, and really elevating the bones of what we do. It's not just this extra piece to kind of gloss over things, but it's really to elevate the experiences we're creating, the participant experience, so that, we are doing our job right. We are delivering on what we're promising. And I love that, to your point, our businesses are so different, but this still applies across the board.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, Molly. And we know that, the best experiences are rooted oftentimes in the finer details. And, you've been a big part of the evolution of Navigating Now, in helping us tell the story, and a lot of the fine details that go into creating content, distributing it to multiple platforms, putting it together in bite-size pieces, and also just overall strategy of the type of tone and texture and tenor that we want to bring to our community on a week-to-week basis. So I just want to thank you for that. You've been such a big part of this platform, and we wouldn't be here today with real confetti poppers if it weren't for you just fixating on some of those details. So before we transition over, I mean, any kind of thoughts or insights, or maybe a funny story to share in terms of how we've built Navigating Now over the years?
Plenty of all of those. I think one thing that comes to mind, which I really love, is especially one of our remote folks that's in North Carolina. And with this quote, like we talked a lot about the 6-block radius, like, and community. And I think one of my favorite things of Navigating Now is be able to bring my own community into our Thatium community. And so I think one of my favorite memories was bringing my brother on and getting to interview him on this platform and hearing his kind of leadership in that way. Slowly going to be bringing on every member of my family. I think we have a few more seasons, we have some time, so it'll be great. But I love just that ability to bring our different communities together and share those thoughts, and a lot of fun stories of how we get to go live every week. And ready or not, we're hitting that live button, which is fun.
I love it. Yeah. Ready or not, we are trying these confetti poppers for the first time.
Exactly.
Molly, thank you so much for joining today and helping us celebrate 250 episodes of Navigating Now. And again, thank you for just the impact and the influence that you've brought the platform.
Absolutely. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Yes, absolutely. Salud. So we are rolling on here with our 250th episode of Navigating Now. We're also celebrating 9 years here at Thatium. And over the course of the 9 years, we have been encouraging our clients, particularly our leaders, to really stand at the doorstep of their business and look up and out and start to really bring what is tomorrow forward for their teams. And we have a great quote from one of the leaders who just does it the best in terms of thinking and acting strategically. But before we unpack that, I want to bring on Grift Krenbrink. He's here live in Chicago with us. Grift is a partner and the chief commercial officer here at Thatium. Grift, welcome. Welcome to 250. Man? Yes, I got a little glass of bubbly for you there.
Oh, okay. What time is it?
You want to cheers with me? Yeah, it's champagne time.
5 o'clock somewhere, I guess.
Salud. Yeah. Welcome.
No learning experiences were built in the consumption of this alcohol.
That is very true. Yeah, the precursor. I love it. Well, welcome. It's good to have you in Chicago. Grift is probably one of the more mobile people in our organization. He seems to be literally everywhere at a moment in our organization where we thrive on his leadership and his direction. And I think it's only right for us to have Grift unpack this incredible quote about the importance of setting direction for your organization. And this came from episode 180 from Christy Callahan. She heads up commercial learning and development at GE Healthcare. And Christy says, hey, we have to be nimble enough to meet today's needs, but also look up and out to anticipate tomorrow's. This might seem like a simple quote, but Grift, I really want you to break this down and where are we maybe getting this right and where are we maybe struggling as leaders?
Yeah. I just want to first off say, I've been on this platform how many times? Like 25 hours. Yes. I was hoping maybe one of my quotes might have made the top 6, but maybe I'll join another 25 times and there'll be something I say.
A quote or, hey, this is your time this is your time now for the
here
quotes.
we go. So breaking down someone else's quote is my chance to get my own quote. Yeah, I think to your point, I think the way you said this, you framed this up is perfect. This is one of those, it's common sense, but how often is it common practice, right? And I think if you break down what leadership is more and more, I heard this recently and I've been using it a lot of my own talk tracks. Like we know what it takes to be a good leader by the time we're 12. Ooh. Like all the things to be a good leader, you get and how you grow up. The challenge is like the situations always change and the situations change on a day-to-day basis, but they also change as you go through the seasons of your life. And the same thing is true for a business. And if there's anything true about what I think great leaders do, it's that they're able to show their people the North Star, the ambitious goals, the reason for which we're signing up and we're getting up and we're doing things. There's that lofty vision and dream of where we can go. But they're also recognizing that like we have to drop the oars into the water every day. And we have to perform. Like you have to perform in today's environment to be able to get to the amazing future state. Yeah. And again, while it sounds like, of course, that's what you have to do. Like how often do we get lost in the clouds and say like, oh, we're going there. Just everyone run there and we'll get there, right? Or how often do we get lost in the myopia of today's challenge and today's struggle? And the best leaders are able to somehow bring both concepts to the table on a day-to-day basis. And I think Christy's a great example of someone who does that in organizations. We're lucky to have her be a part of our community. We've seen her act in this way in many ways on this platform and in the organizations we've been lucky enough to partner with her within. And I couldn't think of a better quote to get to unpack on this momentous day with you, man.
I love that. Well, thank you, brother. You've been such a big part of who we are as Thought Team, and I think again, I'll say it again, more so today. Your leadership and your style is appreciated. It really, really is at this point in our growth journey. And I think you actually did outdo yourself. And I got a quote from today, and I'm thinking of like a t-shirt line that says, you already have what you need, and it's a picture of your 12-year-old self.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Like it's just a constant reminder that like as a leader, you have what you need. And I do think that's a really powerful reminder to us that, especially us growth-oriented, growth mindset folks, like we always feel like there's skills or abilities that we don't have that we need to attain.
Yeah.
That's at the core of a lot of leadership development programming, if you will. But I think at Thought Team, one of the things that we love to do is we love to cultivate skills that people already have and bring them forward in ways that maybe they haven't used them before. Skills that they might have had even at an early age of 12.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, human beings have been around for quite some time. And I think what makes us human, what makes us great in terms of being able to interact with each other and lead each other in hard times and in challenging environments is our ability to tap into what makes us innately human beings. And that's our ability to connect, our ability to listen, our ability to influence and inspire, to get people to go after large and lofty goals. And all of that is stuff that we get to learn really early on. It's just how often are we making sure we're practicing what we already know.
Yeah. True. I love that. Well, you've been the host of a handful of very formative Navigating Now episodes.
Not quotable though.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, maybe in the next 200. There's just so many, Grift. There's just so many, right? We could have a whole episode of Griftisms, if you will. But I think again, that's part of your leadership style is like you throw those nuggets and those darts that really matter. And I know that that's shown up in this platform over the course of the last almost 4 years, right? 4 years?
Yeah. Over 4 years.
Over 4 years. Yeah. And this is just one piece of Thoughtium that you've helped transformed. Any thoughts, insights, reflections on 250 episodes?
I said this, I think maybe this was on episode 200.
Yeah. We did it down in Cincinnati.
Down in Cincinnati. Yeah. And I remember saying something to the tune of, what I've always loved about this program is rain or shine, you can count on us to be here at 3 p.m. Central on Thursdays. And I just love the tremendous consistency and the willingness to show up and just do the thing. You know, it's easy to I actually just posted about this on my own LinkedIn. I said, like, it's easy to talk about the thing. Sometimes it's just good to do the thing. And I think Thoughtium Navigating Now is just us doing the thing that we care about, that we think matters. And I think that's, you know, a testament to how we show up on a day-to-day basis for our clients, for each other, is like, you know, we're a bunch of passionate people who love the work we do, and we just do the thing. We choose to do the thing. And I'll shout out to you, man. I mean, I know a lot goes into this, you know, the consistency, the ability to show up, and the discipline of being here every week. And I know you get a lot out of it, but you put a lot into it too, man.
Thank you.
So thanks for all that you do for this platform, for us as an organization. And here's to
doing the thing,
50 more, to doing the thing.
Cheers, brother. Great to have you here today.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us celebrate. All right, Griff, thank you so much.
I don't have to do the poppers, right? I think we might get the fire department called on us.
Griff saw the poppers coming in. He's like, I've got a call to take. I'm going to squeeze myself out of this. But thank you so much for joining. And we're rolling on here. We've got a few more iconic moments of this episode 250 of Navigating Now. We're looking back almost 9 years of bringing you leaders and leadership topics that matter most. And to bring in our next wonderful 250 moment, Nicole Deal. Nicole, welcome. You all know Nicole as the face of many episodes of Navigating Now. We're trying to groom her to be kind of the Oprah, where you don't have an episode with Nicole without being in tears, right? Yeah. I think this is like we need you to be the emotional one.
The next Oprah.
The next Oprah. Yeah, you're the Oprah of Navigating Now. The truth is, you're the Nicole Deal of Navigating Now.
Thank you.
Right. And we appreciate that about you. You are an example of somebody who has come into Thoughtium having a completely different background. And you are about the opposite of, hey, you know, let me see the job description and I'm going to start checking boxes off. You were like, put me in any corner of this business, in front of any client, or even hundreds of people out there that are watching on a week-to-week basis, and I'm good. And that confidence has really fueled the growth of Navigating Now, and also given our team such a wonderful example of how, you know, their voice can bring forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it. The quote that Nicole is going to help us unpack is from episode 161. This is coming from Xavier Ramey. Xavier is one of the more prolific voices to bring perspective to Navigating Now. He seems to just kind of cut through the filler words, cut through the niceties, and he hits you with these jabs that kind of have you walking away really self-evaluating and checking yourself in terms of how you show up as a leader in this world. And his quote, we just love. He says, instead of asking leaders what their leadership style is, ask their team, how have you experienced their leadership? And Nicole is one of our resident master coaches. You know, this is your language. So I'm just going to hand it over to you. What do you see when you see this great quote?
Yeah, I love this one because it goes back to what we call the inner and outer game, right, of leadership. And when we think of the outer game, it's how you're being experienced, your behaviors, your actions, where so often sometimes we just spend most of our time within the inner game. So the thoughts and beliefs that we have about our leadership. And so much of the work that we do, we love to, you know, do a leadership assessment as kind of that baseline to have an understanding of what is my natural style or my strengths as a leader, which is very important. It starts with awareness and acknowledgement of what you already bring to the table, but you also need to see the other side. Like, what is the impact on those that you work closely with? Because intention isn't the same, right? You might have the intention of being a very empathetic, steady, maybe transparent leader, but if you go and ask your team members, you know, do you experience that from me. I guess you wouldn't like directly ask it, but you know,
Yeah.
you gotta.
There's other ways you can.
There's other
yeah,
ways
for sure.
And it's all about the feedback and how you are actually experienced. And that's, I think, what matters most. And I just really appreciate how we put that together, because there's two parts of a leadership development program. It starts with awareness, and then how do you apply and then maybe adapt your leadership style, and then get feedback and reinforcement of you actually doing the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I could like listen to you talk leadership for days.
You're sweet.
Thank you for that perspective and translating this quote in some really meaningful and tactical ways. You know, I think one of the things that's so cool about what we're building here at Thoughtium is so much of what we are supporting and enabling our clients with, we are demonstrating and even prototyping internally.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that feedback here at Thoughtium internally has been a huge focus. How have you seen feedback evolve over the last maybe couple years? Because I think at the heart of this quote is, are you willing to ask the tough questions of your people? Are you willing to solicit feedback as a manager?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How have you experienced that over the last couple years?
Yeah, seeing it be more of like a two-way street. So
Yeah.
I think it's one thing to want feedback, but you also have to directly ask for it. And I think within our leadership here, you know, you guys are oftentimes asking for feedback, and you're role modeling that, like, hey, this doesn't have to be an uncomfortable thing. You know, feedback can be seen as a gift. It's your choice of what you want to do with said gift.
Yep.
Right. So I think just making it more a part of our day to day is super important, and it becomes just more approachable and something that is coming from, let's call it a place of love, you know, and just gratitude for us all being on a growth journey.
Yep.
And we're just trying to support one another through that and through the gift of feedback.
Yeah. And it's not just because you're sitting here, but I would say you and Grift, who was just here, are two incredible examples of people who as leaders proactively solicit this feedback from their people. We can't tout that enough. And as a leader, I find myself oftentimes like thinking like, when was the last time I proactively solicited feedback? So thank you for modeling that within Thoughtium. Any kind of parting thoughts on navigating now? I mean, you've been the face of, was it our first hot take? I think you were a part of that, our first few hot takes, some of our maybe different cuts of navigating. I think you've brought a sense of levity and fun that even I can't bring to the platform. So, what are your reflections?
There's definitely more quirkiness, I think, to the navigating now, thanks to me. But yeah, I'd say like the way we've expanded, not just bringing on other leaders, but also like the more the different types of episodes we've done. So like Meet the Team was a new series that we started that I've been leading. So everyone gets to meet a little bit of, you know, the folks that are behind the scenes and who are creating the learning experiences that we get to put forward. So I'd say bringing in the Meet the Team was great. Also our hot takes. So for those who didn't watch, I forget the number of this episode, but I mean, Slippers Save Lives, that has gone
Slippers
viral.
Save Lives, hot take.
Know,
yes.
That was the first hot take. So
that was actually after 8 years, that was the first piece of content to go semi-viral.
It was.
You know, 8 years of deep leadership topics and transformational knowledge and perspective. And it was about how wearing slippers in your house can save your life.
And so many people have been transformed because of this. They come to tell me, Nicole, ever since that episode, I can't wear shoes in the house. I'm like, if I did one thing, that was it. And I'm happy. And let's cheers to it, shall we?
Absolutely. Salud. Cheers.
Cheers
to 250 and to you, Nicole. Thank you again for being such a big part of navigating now.
Thank you.
Champagne is good at 3:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday. All right. We are rounding out our special 250th episode of Navigating Now. We have one final special guest and one incredible quote that both of these two things have in common. And we want to bring forward Amanda Lobo. She is our head of people and operations. Oh, Amanda, it's so good to see you.
Hi. It's been a minute. How are you?
It has. I mean, it hasn't been a minute since we've seen each other. We were on like 6 calls earlier today. But it's been a minute since, it's been a minute since you and I have been on this platform. And you know, it's bittersweet that we're doing this virtually, but I will double down on the sweet. You know, your life has changed so much over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, and I personally have been witness to it all. And you've brought that journey in some really special ways to our team and helped shape our culture and even guide our policy. So the fact that you've got to join, virtually is yes, a little bit bitter, but I think it's the result of just some incredible, decisions that you've made for your life and your ability to lead from wherever you are. So welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I've seen a lot of life change on .tm's watch, and I'm so grateful. This firm is a huge part of my personal story as well. So thanks
Yeah.
for having me today.
Yeah, I'll touch on kind of your role in navigating now, but I'll just say before we get into it, Amanda was maybe one of the earliest people to really get in the trenches with me on scaling this platform. And when I say scaling, I mean, gosh, I go back to 2016. This whole thing started with me and a cell phone with 47 takes to try to get something out to my small audience, which consisted of like my mom, my twin sister, and a couple friends. And it's evolved to what it is now, which is us reaching a lot of different communities, providing value at scale week over week, bringing new leaders to the table. And so much of that has been from kind of your vision and stepping in and saying, hey, like I can roll my sleeves up and like I'll get in the dirt with you, and week over week we'll figure this out from a technical perspective, from a planning perspective, and I will help shape and guide the platform over the years. So again, just want to thank you for the real work and vision that you've brought to navigating now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw you like putting up those early vlogs. Like that was right when we first met, and I was like, "What is this guy doing? Like, what's going on over here?" And then fast forward several years into our friendship, we're now working together, and I was like, "I want to be a part of this. I can bring some people to this platform," and it's been really fun. Now you've got an entire brand and design team doing way cooler things with it than I ever could. But yeah, it's been a journey, and it's been super cool to be on it with you. So
who is this guy, and why does he sound like a weird mix of Casey Neistat and Gary Vaynerchuk? The cringe years. the cringe years, absolutely. They are still, those early episodes are still on our YouTube page, youtube.com/ThoughtTeam, if you want to not check them out.
No, they're not. They're awesome. They're highly produced, and they're amazing.
But Amanda, we thought it was only fitting, and this was not your decision. We kind of forced this upon you. We said one of the coolest quotes that we've seen over the course of the last 250 episodes actually came from our head of people, Amanda Lobo. And so of course we voluntold you to introduce your own quote.
Yeah.
And it's timeless. And it speaks to the heart of building culture. You said, I don't need culture fits. I need culture adds. People who are going to evolve our culture in positive directions. This came from episode 128. So this was, several years ago when we were, maybe a 10-person firm, 11-person firm.
Yeah.
And for you to say something as profound as I don't need culture fits, I need culture adds, really went against the grain of what we typically look for first, which is, are they a good fit? So help us unpack this.
Yeah, this was a fun episode because I actually sat in your typical seat, and I hosted our good friend Mark Scala, and we were unpacking the small business landscape. So he owns and runs a video production company, and we were just unpacking like the real of owning and operating a small business. And naturally, we were talking about building the right team and getting the right talent in the right seat, and acknowledging that anytime you add someone new, you're going to inject a new dynamic, like period. And we just have to be so careful that like when we put someone new on the team that we think they're going to move it in the right direction. And so this moment in time for us as a business was a big one. This is when we started like really recruiting for classes. We were bringing in 3 and 4 people at a time. We were experiencing some real growth as a firm. And like, that was my spiel. And it still is today. If I interviewed you today, you would hear me say the thing that I am most proud of, and frankly, the most protective of, is our team. Like we have built an incredible culture and an employee experience with intention and with a lot of learnings and some skinning of the knees on the way. But this is the thing that like our people are our greatest asset. And so, and the environment that we've built is so special and so unique. And I know it's going to change, and I'm so comfortable with that. That's actually super healthy, but I want to make sure it's changing and evolving in positive ways. So it was fun to unpack that with Mark, and it rings true for me today. I still believe in this.
I love it. Like, yeah, no notes on that. I'll maybe just add, like, as you're kind of unpacking this, it's got me thinking, name me an organization that from year 1 to year 5 or even year 2 looks and feels the same. Like, you won't find one of them.
No, it's probably problematic if it does.
1,000%.
Right?
And if it is, it's a result of you hiring culture fits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We got to be careful. Like, it's culture fit gives comfort to me. It gives, I'm hiring people that look, act, think, and work exactly like me. And that's a scary place to be. That might work for you for a little bit, but it's probably not a long-term strategy for growing a innovative, scalable business. So, culture fit, it just gives comfort to me.
Is this the death of comfort, Amanda?
Sure.
You heard it here first. We are wiping the word comfort from our vocabulary. I love it, but it actually is true, and I love the specificity with which you say this. Like, there is a real difference between an ad and a fit. And as an employee, we don't want to hire people that are, just satisfied with comfort. We want to hire people that come in and say, hey, I can find my spot and add my value. And I'll just round out Amanda. I think you're a perfect example of that. Gosh, you came in as, kind of an operations guru, and you had really helped a couple of other startups build and scale their operational backbone. And, here we are now, multiple years later, you have seen 5 different iterations of Thoughtium, and your role now is focused on so much more than just the operational day-to-day. You're guiding and grounding our team in building culture. And, that to me is the perfect example of an ad and not a fit. So thank you. And personally, thank you for, running alongside me all these years and holding all of us, myself included, to showing up on a week-to-week basis. You've been such a big part of Thoughtium's journey, and mine as well too.
I appreciate it. It's been such a fun journey, and grateful for the opportunity.
I love it. So what did Eric serve you today? What are you toasting with?
So I don't even know. I've got some sort of like funky wine.
Oh, okay. Is that like an orange wine? I feel like orange wine is in.
I think it might be. It doesn't say orange on it, but it kind of it's in that vein.
Yeah, one of our perennial guests, Nosa, who he's been on the show probably 5 or 6 times. He tells me that orange wine is in, and when Nosa says something's in, it's definitely in.
Well, he needs to catch up, because I was bringing orange wine to the backyard barbecues last summer. So.
I love it. Well, Amanda, cheers to you. Cheers. And to 250 episodes and to 250 more. Thank you for being such a big part of it. Love
Congratulations.
Ooh, I just drank some confetti. But that's what we do when we're 40 minutes in, 5 toasts later, and we've gone through 5 or 6 just pivotal quotes and moments of the last 250 episodes of Navigating Now. I personally just want to thank everybody for being a part of today's episode. We want to thank our very own Hannah, who is a part of the creative team and has become a bit of the heartbeat of our storytelling. And as much as she loves to be behind the scenes, we owe a lot of today's production and the last, 20 or so episodes to her genius. So Hannah, thank you so much. The last 9 years for me personally have been so formative, and a big part of that has been, that I've been able to bring one of my true passions to the world, and that is translating vision into story. And the vision that we have here at Thoughtium is to enable our clients with incredible human-centered experiences. And I think there has been no more greater human-centered experience than Navigating Now, the show, and more importantly, the platform, the folks that have stepped in and provided these wonderful moments for us and our community, that we've become even more friends with, that we share Christmas cards with, that we now collaborate and work together as clients and partners. the size and scale and even more so the meaning of Navigating Now just really blows my mind. And it truly today, 9 years later, I am just as motivated, if not more, to bring you 250 episodes more. So here's to 250 more. Here's to you all, our community. And we want to thank you for being a big part of this platform. Our closing quote is, community is built not when we have the answers, but when we commit to the dialogue. And we are committing to this dialogue on a week-to-week basis. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next week.